But I am going to tell you who I support. He's not in my county, but I've been watching. I've talked with this guy. I actually sat through with him talking about the Constitution with me personally when I announced my run for governor. He called me up and said, "Hey, I'd like to have a conversation." So I went out to Hillsdale County and sat down. And I think I forget for how long, but we spent a few hours. And he was just going through the Constitution and really explaining things to me, which meant a lot. Okay, because I was very, to be quite honest, I was very ignorant on a lot of things with government and how government works and functions at a very specific level when I first stood up. I just really didn't. And then I got a crash course very quickly within that first couple months. And a lot of people shared a lot of great information with me. And Jon Rutan was one of them. Okay. And Jon is running for sheriff in Hillsdale County. And I support Jon because here's why I support Jon and other people who you should look into is anyone who's going to stand for that little piece of paper called the Constitution. We saw how important constitutional sheriffs were during the pandemic. So you want to make sure that you're backing the people who will stand up for your rights, even when state government or anyone else, federal government, comes in and tries to strip you of those rights. The constitutional sheriff is probably one of the most important, if not in most important, person in elected politics. And so you have to get behind those people. And you need to hold those folks accountable and ask them the tough questions on what would you do or what did you do? Did you submit? Did you give in? Or did you stand up at that time? Because that still holds weight with me is what did you do in 2020? And I know Jon, and I know Jon and his family personally, he stood up. And so again, I won't endorse anyone because I think endorsements, it just, I don't believe in them. I really feel that we, the people, should do our own due diligence and listen to people, but don't just follow what other people follow and endorse other candidates who are endorsed. You have to do your due diligence now. But I will point out people who I believe that will represent you, and I support Jon 100%. And so if you're in Hillsdale County, if you don't know Jon, go up and have a conversation with him. And you'll be surprised not only on how personable he is, but also how knowledgeable he is with the Constitution. So I support Jon and many other constitutional sheriffs who are running right now. And I wish you guys all would just do your due diligence, ask the tough questions, find out who's going to represent you, especially that piece of paper called the Constitution, and get behind the folks who are going to do just that and support them not only with sharing their content, but also donating to their campaign and showing up at speaking engagements and having those conversations. I think it's critical. And so one of the most important positions that you're going to elect someone into is that constitutional sheriff. So do your due diligence and get involved. Okay. So Jon Rutan, I support you, brother. Thank you for everything that you've done for me and for your support. But not only that, but for your knowledge and your heart for this country. Jon is 100% a diehard American patriot, and I support you.